Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. We back with the Losers Lounge, the Houston edition. Houston, we have a problem. What up, Sim?
I'm chilling, man. I'm just happy we got this win. You know what I mean? Happy we got this win because it was getting scary. It was getting scary out here with the way the Knicks were doing. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
we get this win is big. We're on to Miami, but not before we do the losers lounge. It's been a while. It's been 3 games before we had a chance to do a losers lounge. So we in it. We in it to win it. Let's get it.
this was the longest break too. We had the 3 game losing streak and the 3 days off. We've been waiting for this moment, and I feel a little bit bad. Knowing that Houston's the bottom dwellers and things of that nature, but you know we gotta celebrate, man. It's been a while, so
That's what I'm saying. I don't even care that they're the bottom dwellers. The Knicks did what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? They did what they were supposed to do. So now we can take a look at Houston and see how they feeling about their team. You know what
let's
I mean?
go.
And with what they did. So let me see. Let's see where we at. We start right here.
Brian, he
Brian.
sa- he says if Tillman had come out and said we trying to win, I would blame the coaches more, but he hasn't. He wants to lose. Tillman's the owner, by the way.
The owner.
So this guy thinks the owner wants to lose. Otherwise, he would have said they're trying to win. And I guess I'm assuming he's not okay with that, or maybe he is okay with that because the owner is okay with that. What do you think?
So he said if Tillman had came out and said we're trying to win, I would blame the coaches more, but he hasn't. He wants to lose. So I guess what he's saying is if Tillman came out and said, "Yeah, we want to win," but the Rockets were still losing, then he would blame the coaches. But because Tillman hasn't come out and said that, he's not blaming the coaches. He's like, "Cool, all right,
It is what it is.
it is what it is. We losing, we losing." You know what I'm saying? Um, I mean, fair enough. I get it, but that still kind of alludes to a little bit that they're upset with the coaching.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It says at least a little bit. That's what it says.
And he's probably responding to somebody else referencing the coaches.
Right. Somebody else referencing the coaches. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I mean, you're gonna hear a lot about Silas. You know, Houston Rockets fans not liking Silas or mad with Silas. Let's see what else is up in here.
Heath,
KBJ got flat out cooked tonight by Emmanuel Quickly.
Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, Quickly dropped 40 tonight. Quickly was on his thing tonight, man. He was doing his thing. Um, what more can you say? Yeah, he got cooked. He got
Yeah,
cooked.
and we needed it. We needed every bit of that 40. Nice little breakout game for Emmanuel. Career high. And the messed up thing is Kevin Porter Jr. I don't think he played a bad game offensively.
Right. The thing about Kevin Porter Jr., a couple of years ago, I wanted the Knicks to get Kevin Porter Jr. I really did. You know what I
Take
mean?
a take
Because
a flyer on him, right?
fire on him, right? Because um he was in Cleveland, right? And he he had those issues going on, gun charges and all kinds of things going on. But at the time, I did feel like the Knicks had some stronger leadership in place, and that they could have picked this kid up and maybe mentored him a little bit and kind of had that uh uh diamond in the rough kind of a guy. You know what I mean? Obviously, they didn't do so, but I felt like that would have been at that time. I felt like that would have been a good idea. You know what I mean? Kevin Porter Jr. Listen, the Houston Rockets got some good young talent on that team, though. There's no doubt about it. They got some good young talent.
I remember you wanting Porter, um, and I remember the time frame as well. It was the type of move that the Knicks continuously have done. I think
Mhm.
the one thing, and you've mentioned this recently, the one thing that probably turned them off was they look for character guys as well as talent. You know what I mean? And he had all the talent in the world, but I guess the character was in question. But yeah, I remember you saying that. We had some guys that could kind of mentor him and Taj and kind of keep him on the right path, if you will. But shout out to him for getting his life in order, and let him be a lesson and an example for a guy like Ja. You know what I mean? On what could happen, and
Yeah,
you know
no doubt
he got off lightly. You know what I mean?
right, no doubt about that, you know what I'm saying? Um, he definitely could be a lesson for a guy like Ja, right? You know, with everything that Ja is going through right now, he could be a lesson that could be a lesson learned, because right now, he's thriving in Houston, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, Houston's not that good, you know, but they're a young squad that has some talent, you know what I mean? And, one of these days, that talent is gonna it's gonna come to fruition. You know what I mean? It's gonna come to fruition. They're gonna be tough to deal with. So yeah, I'm with that. I think that's on point. I think that's definitely on point. All right. See what else they had to say.
Just it's clear we're not getting calls all year, but the forever crying and lack of effort is more on Silas. Do your job. Shaking my head, and
Sound
there you go.
familiar? That joint sounds familiar, right? That's the type of thing we hear about Julius Randle all the time. It's clear we're not getting calls all year long. Of course, obviously with Knicks fans, we always hear that. And then, but forever crying and lack of effort is more on Silas. Do your job. Um, that's what we always hear about Julius Randle. You know,
Probably saying hold
um,
them accountable. You know,
right. You know what I mean? Silas though has had a lot to deal with this year, I think.
not is not really just this year, right? Didn't he come in on the cusp of Harden leaving
He
and
did. He did.
had to deal with that
He did.
situation? You know what I mean? So he's kind of had a raw deal or a rough start from the beginning. You
Uh-huh.
know what I mean? And I get some of the fans losing faith in or you know questioning his ability or whatever the case, but you also gotta look at the circumstances. It's hard to look at the circumstances and the details when you in it. You know what I mean? When that's your team. But
Right.
he's definitely had a rough going, and he's had a lot to deal with, a lot on his plate as a first time head coach at that.
Yeah.
Um, kudos to the coaching tree of his dad, rest in peace, and the guys he got to learn from though.
Yeah. He he's had to come out several times this year and kind of, just talk about the players and their effort. You know what I'm saying? You've seen him a few times get really pissed off in a press conference, because the players weren't giving the effort and doing some things like that. I mean, part of this is coaching young players. Coaching young players of today, you know what I mean, is different than uh coaching young players of the past. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not even an argument about, for me, it's not an argument about, oh, players in the past is better than today's players. I just think it's a different environment. You know what I mean? Really is a different environment, and players from in the past like had tougher coaches. You know what I'm saying? Who would like ride down on them. You know what I'm saying? And really get down on them. And then today you got some coaches that are afraid to do that. You know what I'm saying? It comes from the AAU culture. I ain't even gonna front. You know what I'm saying?
Coddling,
Huh?
coddling, and and
Yeah.
and and,
Yeah,
and,
you
and
have in that AAU culture, it's like that where players are getting coddled. It's like, "Hey, Imma come to your team, but if you want me to come to your team, Imma bring 3 of my friends with me," and the coach wants to win so bad, it's like, "Okay, come on, let's go." You know what I'm saying? And then, that player act like they don't wanna practice and do things, and they just let them rock, and it's, it's kinda like that, and so players, they get to the NBA, if they got a coach that's trying to be strict or doing whatever, sometimes players aren't receptive because they've come up in a different kind of culture. I mean, but yeah, Silas he's had a rough time this year, and during his time with the Rockets, what I mean. D. Coulis has said he lost his pops. Yeah, exactly, he lost his pops too. You know what I mean? So it's been a goal for him this season. You know what I mean? Definitely has,
for sure. And shout out to the chat, Nikki B, D Coolest.
no doubt.
Who else was in here? Raul Rosado. Shout
Mhm.
out to you guys. Appreciate it.
Shout out to everybody, man.
What else we got, Sam?
So this right here is Juan.
Oh, another game. We're gonna lose by 20 plus. This is not acceptable. I've seen zero improvement in 3 seasons. And there you go. I think that's coinciding with Silas's tenure.
Right?
I haven't watched enough to to whether to say the comment is on point or not. I think the win totals is something maybe that you can't argue with, but the play, I would think there has to have been some improvement, especially like it hasn't been like a big turnover on this roster. Like they've have young guys, but they've been there for those 3 years as well.
Mhm.
What do you thought? You think it's just a angry fan, or you think
I
he
think
hasn't seen any improvement in 3 seasons?
I think it's an angry fan, you know what I'm saying? Because right now, Houston, in my opinion, is in talent acquisition mode, right? They're trying to acquire the best talent possible
And evaluate.
and evaluate it. You know what I mean? So I don't like, what are you gonna do besides they're not gonna put together this uh great team right now. You know what I mean? They're gonna get young players. They're gonna take flyers on players, and you're gonna lose basketball games. That's what it is right now. You know what I mean? So I think you gotta deal with it until they fully turn it around. I think you got to deal with it because they're not gonna get much better anytime soon. I mean, they're gonna get talent, and then once you acquire talent, now you can start to figure out how pieces fit together.
And Jabari Smith, I mean, I know he's a rookie, right? But he's a talented young kid, and I could definitely say I've noticed improvement in Green from his rookie year to now. But granted, that's with us playing them twice a year, but you know what I mean. Like he's definitely improved. The young kid Green.
Yeah.
I
Oh
thought
yeah.
he was a point
Oh
guard,
yeah.
and he's playing the two now too, which is I don't know when that started, but I always thought he was a one.
Yeah.
He's always been a two.
Um, and I don't, I'm not exactly sure. And they could be playing him a little bit out of, I don't want to say out of position, but he's 6'4". Kevin Porter Jr. 6'4". You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I thought Porter was always a two, and they got him at the one.
Yeah. So right
It-
now, like I said, they're in talent acquisition mode. So they're playing players and putting players in that may not that may not be their natural role, this and that. They're just acquiring talent, and they're on pace to acquire some more talent this year. You know what I mean? So it's a tough situation, especially for someone like Silas to be in, tough situation.
and shout out to Bleacher Report too. That's where all the comments are coming from.
Yeah, no
Always,
doubt.
always
And
got
be
it.
patient with us. I know you guys have seen a few different like layouts, stuff like that. So what messing with the layouts, seeing what fits best for what it is that we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon we're gonna come down to the best one that we like, and we're gonna rock with it. We're working on the logo. So just be patient. As we work. You're witnessing the kinks being worked out. But one of the dopest shows is gonna be around. So
That's right. Grow with us. DJ, he says, Jalen has got to get more efficient, and Jabari Smith needs to learn how to fight through screens. Shaking my head. I mean, that's young. That's young kids right now. You know what I mean?
okay,
Like they gotta learn, but it's gonna take experience. It's gonna take time. I mean, maybe better coaching. I don't know. I'm not trying to take a shot, but you know what I mean. It, it's gonna take time. They gotta learn it, but you know what I mean. Give them time, especially Jabari, first year in the league.
right.
Um, we got guys that's been here a couple years, and you know we've seen improvement. Oh well, he's talking about fighting through screens, but setting screens. You know what I mean? It's again these things you got to learn.
hmm Yeah, I
And
mean, that's the big thing right there. They're young. They're young. They gotta learn. And people that say, well, they should come into the league already knowing this stuff, but you might at your level, you might understand how to do it and execute it, but in the NBA, it's something different. You know what I mean? Um, Rand Rock said, if they had a coach like Mark Jackson, do you think they would be better? Uh, that's a good question.
I got a question. I'm gonna answer with a question.
All right.
If they had a coach like Mark Jackson who had to deal with the same circumstances as Silas, would they be better?
Right.
Because like if they give Mark Jackson now, I think yeah they'll be better. But if Mark Jackson had to go through the same exact chain of events that that Silas had to go through, plus you know Mark Jackson has experience already. Like again, coming into this as a first time coach and dealing with what he's had to deal with, I think he's done at the very least a commendable job.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Sim said, we've seen him lose it once or twice at the podium, but even with that, man, that's small compared to the things that he's had to deal with as a first time coach. I mean, talk about losing a superstar, not really getting the return
Mm.
um that you should have. Even the before losing them, dealing with the fat suit, you know what I mean, or out of shape, whichever one you think is true. With James Harden, I think he's done a commendable job for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. I think. I mean, I think Mark Jackson. I think he is the kind of guy that's good. Would be good for young players. You know what I'm saying? And to for the structure, the toughness that he would bring to him, the discipline. I think he would be good for a young team like that. To be honest with you, I'm not saying that Silas is not, but he's a young coach that's growing. You know what I'm saying, and learning it, learning. You know what I mean? I think you need. It's hard, in my opinion, right? A new coach with young players, it's it's difficult because while that new coach is learning, they may not be able to provide the discipline and structure that you want for those young players. You know what I'm saying? An older coach may maybe be too rigid or not have the connection to the younger players. You know what I mean? So you kind of need, I think, someone in between helps out younger players, someone who is young enough to know the language, but also has enough experience to be able to provide the right structure. You know what I mean? So then I guess the question comes in, where do younger coaches fit in too? You know what I mean? I think younger coaches, you're gonna have some coaches who just get in the league who have some success, but getting those years as the assistants and stuff like that. And I think Silas has been an assistant in the league too. But Mark Jackson would have did, I think he would have did a good job. Now, good point by D. Quilicious. Said Mark Jackson hasn't coached since Golden State. plenty of coaching jobs every year. I'm sure if he wanted to coach, he would apply. He's been blackballed, knowing is no one is calling for jobs. I mean, he ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? He's been around and he's been there. I don't know if it's hard for him to get a job right now.
Yeah, and they say the owners, they have their fraternity, just like the
Yep.
players, just like the coaches, just like every other segment of the NBA. So yeah, you hurt one owner. They may not be friends with the whole league, but I'm sure they got some owner friends out there that
Yeah.
they they're gonna not let you get a chance at a
Right.
fair chance at a opportunity.
They got their own little fraternity. You know what I mean? Big Blue Crew Sports said, I think they need one or two solid vets, some experience on the court. They have talent. They need experience. Give DJ some minutes. He is well experienced and talented.
Yeah,
Um,
shout out to the Knicks morning brew crew. I thoroughly enjoy your shows in the morning.
yeah, I'm gonna be on there soon. You know what I'm saying? We're working out the day and the time, but I'm gonna be on there soon. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm gonna have.
And I'm not just saying I'm gonna be on there. You know what I'm saying? We've had a discussion about it. I'm not just like saying, "Hey, I'm coming to your show." You dig what I'm saying?
well, I'm sure that means I'll be either featured or they'll be on my show soon too.
Yeah,
Uh,
no doubt.
you know.
Salute to my man Leeds in the Knicks. Salute my brother. Uh,
Welcome to the losers lounge,
Salute time,
Guillermo.
baby. Yeah, salute to my man.
Who else we got up here? Kevin White. I can't wait for the season to be over. I'm ready for the draft and free agency. I mean, I feel your pain, man. Oh, I feel your pain. We've been there before.
No doubt about it. Knicks fans have been there. Oh man, have we been there? You know what I'm
And I tell
saying?
you what, it feels good to not worry about the draft, not take a deep dive into the NCAA tournament and see who's out there and things of that nature. I still want that pick though, Mavs.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. The Mavs, we need the Mavs to get it together towards the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Get it together, win some basketball games. I don't care if you make the playoffs or not. Just don't be in that 10th seed. That's all I care about.
That's right.
Talk about the Mavs. Just don't be in that 10th seed. You know what I mean? But yeah, we've been there. Hopefully, we're not back there soon. We continue to win. You know what I'm saying? So that we're not in the draft. Uh, I mean, but talk about the Houston Rockets. Obviously, they're going to get something in the draft. I don't see what they can get in free agency, though. I mean, they're not going to get any big time players in free agency. No one's looking to go to Houston.
Mm.
You know,
You,
at least
you,
not
you think
now.
you think that's a native Houston coming up with the rumors that Houston that Harden would consider coming back? You think Harden is using it as a ploy to, what I mean, get what he wants?
Um, I don't know.
I
I'm not seeing where and why he will go back, man.
I agree. This is what I say. They haven't shown enough, promise for me to believe that he's willing to go right back over there. Pardon me.
Right. Yeah. I just can't see it. Jason Avarello said James Harden is. He said I think it's the plan if Philly loses. I mean, he's been there, done that. I just don't see why. You know what I mean? He's trying to win a championship. I mean, does he change? Does he change Philly? Of course he does. That and they get better. But how old is James Harden, and how long does he have to wait now to try to contend if he's over there? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But it may be an instance of the grass isn't always greener.
Mhm.
where you know what I mean, he's played the majority of his career in Houston now. You know what I mean? I'm sure he has familiarity or a comfort process out there where he could live comfortably and
Yeah,
still be the guy, and you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it
that
may not be about the ring,
process
is
right
all I'm
there.
saying. And no tax.
Yeah, that's his comfort process right there.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I wasn't trying to, but yeah, pretty much.
That's his comfort process.
Pretty much. And no tax. You know what I mean?
No,
So
and no tax. You know what I'm saying? I guess
no,
you can't beat that. You know what I mean? Guess you can't beat that. I seen someone else say they think Joel Embiid, D Coolish just said, I think Joel Embiid is leaving. So if he's out, I don't see Harden staying. Now that's a different story.
that's a
Right? If
great
Joel
point too.
Embiid leaves, then yeah, I don't see where James Harden would stay. Then
And Harden leaving might even give Embiid the out as well. You know what I mean?
that's true.
But that first round exit, that'll be the spark plug for all of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be the spark plug for all of it. No doubt about it. There you go. Another one about Silas. Rotation.
His rotation is, I'm gonna say but, because you can say but. So
Yeah.
uh
The thing is, and we talk about it all the time with the Knicks. And now you're looking at it, especially with Houston. Um, they got players playing in all different kind of positions, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they're playing in all different kinds of positions. They're in talent acquisition mode, so it's very hard to come up with the right kind of rotation, and especially when you're losing. Once you start losing, you trying to you grasping at straws now. You trying to throw out whatever you can throw out to try to win the basketball game. You know what I mean? So now you're grasping at straws. It's hard to have any kind of consistent rotations or anything like that when um you're not a good basketball team.
and
It's tough.
and again, like I understand those fans' frustration, but I go back to what he signed up for when he got hired, and then the fallout immediately after. You know what I mean? Like you, when that happens, you kind of have to give the guy his his full contract. You know what I mean? Like he signed up for, at the very least, a playoff contention team, thinking Harden's gonna be here. Knowing the history of, they didn't haven't won anything, but they were a continuous threat year in year out, and then to have to deal with that fallout, which was one of the ugliest things I think we've seen, as far as like players um visibly coming in out of shape, and throwing in the towel, if you will.
Yeah.
Like it's tough, bro. Like I don't see how you don't give this man his, at least the contract he signed.
And that's another thing though. If you're Houston, after going through everything that you went through, right? With James Harden and that entire situation, if you're the owner, why would you want him to come back? You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want him to come back. I'm like, nah, you got what you wanted. You wanted to get out of here and go to Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? And then now you want to get out of Brooklyn and go to Philly. You got what you wanted. And you're not, you're not coming back. You know what I'm saying? That's how I would feel about it if I was.
I mean,
That's
I
how I would.
think you're right. I think he felt slighted too with them not with them getting rid of Maury. So um or once Maury left, that was his reason for leaving. I think the funny thing is he wanted Philly all along. He just had to play the long game to get there.
Right,
Because they wasn't gonna send him to Philly.
right. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, yeah. That's yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I don't know if I'm Houston.
I will say I heard this. I read this a lot in the chat. In their chat,
Uh,
a lot of people were calling for DJ Augustine to play. So, um, I mean that I don't know if that's who this guy is in particularly referring to, or what he would have preferred as far as the rotation.
right.
But he is a a veteran, a point guard, but that's taking away from, I guess, the development of one of either Green or Porter Jr. That's his name,
Yeah.
Porter.
Yeah, Porter Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I mean, I get it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? At this point, like I understand the whole thing about, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play the guys that I'm gonna grow with. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna mess around with, vets that ain't gonna be here. I can get that. You know what I mean? I can get that. Understand that. It's a tough situation for Silas, though. I ain't gonna front. It's a tough situation for him. You know what I mean? Real tough situation for him. So, fans, take it easy on Silas, man.
Yeah,
Take it easy on him.
uh, is that Pa or PA? I'm gonna say Pa. What's up, Pa? Uh, when CJ dunked, when JC dunked, end of the fourth, Kevin Porter Jr. and JG all smiles and cheers. They don't care if they losing. Culture of this squad is something. Mm. Who's JC? Do you know who JC is?
Who's
JC Duck.
JC? I'm not sure. I have to look it up.
Um, I mean, I'm assuming he's on their team. We don't got a JC. So if they're cheering and smiles, granted, yeah, they lost the game, but they applauding their teammate.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if this is a bench guy or a guy who doesn't get many minutes, which is more reasons to cheer and maybe smile that guy on. But I get it. It's hard to watch guys happy and smiling when you're a fan and they just lost a game.
right. Yeah, I definitely get it. It is tough, you know what I'm saying, to watch guys, happy, smiling, joking around and stuff like that when you just lost the game. Um, but you also gotta, I think you gotta kind of understand where the team is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect them to do? You know what I mean? I don't know. I think you got to understand where the team is too.
And soaking is not a, you know what I mean. Soaking is not a positive image to display on the screen. So I think I rather, especially if this is a second unit guy, a bench guy, rotational guy, I rather them cheering that guy on and champion him than having no emotion out there. But
Yeah.
I get it. You want your guys upset after a loss, and not say, "Oh, Josh Christopher, Josh." Yeah, see,
Okay, Josh
and
Christmas.
this is another young guy that they, you know what I mean. That's their teammate. I don't know if he's out the rotation, but he's not a starter. So yeah, cheer your man on. I like that kid too.
Yeah, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, you know what I mean? We losing the game. Y'all celebrating, a corny dunk or whatever it is. I get that, but you know, um, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know what else you're gonna do. You know what I mean? Besides, you can mope. Besides sitting there moping, I don't know what else you're gonna do. You know what I mean? I did want to put up. They were talking about Silas. There's another one on Silas.
Okay,
All right, so let me get that one up here. There's another one on Silas that I wanted to put up here. Um, just talking about Silas and his job currently with the Houston Rockets and what he's doing. As soon as it gets up, we'll put it up there. Right. We're just waiting for it to download or whatever it is. In the meantime, We can go on to the next one. Then we can talk about Silas a little bit more.
Knicks. I'm not familiar with his first name, but Knicks, bro. At least try. Pathetic. It's like, bro, at least try, man. Pathetic. Um, you know what position Knicks play?
Uh, I'm not sure.
I remember hearing the name during the game. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he was guarding quickly, so it had to been if he was getting killed. You know what I mean? It had to been who? Randall.
Randall could have been Randall. I mean, towards the end of the game, the Knicks were getting just about everything that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? So it really could have been anybody at that point because, towards the end of the game, it became, you know, fast break. And the Knicks ain't even a fast breaking team, but it became fast break dunks and all kinds of stuff. So it could have been anybody being upset. I mean, he could have been guarding anybody out there at that point in time because everybody was doing their thing against the Rockets then. You know what I mean? But it's just another example that every team has players, and you can probably find on the Rockets fan base people who are in love with this kid. You know what I'm saying? But every fan base is gonna have players where they're like, yo, this dude, he don't work, he don't hustle, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. Knicks, Dacian Knicks. I mean, he didn't have nothing tonight. He only
There
played
was,
13 minutes. So
and there was a lot of people, a lot of comments, not very favorable for him tonight. You
for
know,
Nick.
I picked out a couple, but I
So,
wasn't familiar with who he was.
so he must be one of those players that the fans is kind of like don't like.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we know about those guys, you know what I mean? Trust me, we know about those guys. So he must be one of those players that fans are like, man, why did we pick up this dude? Why did we bring this dude here? Look at him. He's sorry. You know what I'm saying? He's sorry. Why did we bring this dude here? He's got to be one of those guys, you know?
Shout out to A&T, man. He says, "LOL, not the Losers Lounge show." Yes, the Losers Lounge
That's
show,
right.
man. We
Every
got the
time the
win.
Knicks win, it's the losers lounge.
That's right. We got to see what they talking about and see how they feeling. You know,
I
we
mean,
back.
when the Knicks lose, we don't need to do a losers lounge because we know how Knicks fans is feeling when the Knicks lose. So we don't got to do a losers lounge. But when other teams lose, it's fun to hear what they thinking, see how they feel. You know what I mean?
Celebrate our victory.
Celebrate the victory, no doubt about it. More on Knicks.
H Town. Knicks gives up an easy and one. Travels the next possession.
Yo, I mean, look, these are young. Okay, Dacian Knicks, that's his name. Dacian Knicks. 21 years old, he's 6'4", 21 years old. Just some young dude that's probably not going to be on the team for long. You know what I mean? So, what are you
And
going to do?
isn't their oldest player 22? I'm pretty sure I heard that on the telecast tonight. Like the 22-year-olds are the vets. You know what I mean? So it's even tough in that situation for the fan base to say, "Oh, he's only 21. He's only," you know what I mean? Like they want results immediately, and I feel them, but you got to. That's a whole team of 22 and under.
Right. I will say that is crazy though. If everybody is, you know, 22. So let me see. I'm going on the Houston Rockets website right now. Not their website, but looking at their roster, to see what to see what everyone's age is. That's a young squad, and you can't expect much of that team. You know
Except
what I'm saying?
Augustine. Augustine got to be
Okay, so you
in his
got
30s, right?
well, they got a couple of guys. Boban is 34. Forgot about him out there.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Right. Frank Kaminsky is 29. Trevor Hudgens is 24. Jay Sean Tate is 27. He didn't play tonight. DJ Augustine is 35. But if
So
you're talking
they're
about
not even playing their vets.
they're not even playing those guys. If you're talking about those their rotation is, I mean, is young, right? Jabari Smith Jr. 19, Kevin Porter Jr. 22, Jalen Green 21, Kenyon Martin is 22. Jay Sean Tate, I think he probably plays, but he's 27 years old. Josh Christopher is 21. Tari Eason is 21.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So all the guys, Sangoon is 20. So all the
mm.
guys that actually play are under 21 years of age. I mean, not to under 22 years of age for the most part. Those guys that are out there getting burned. So you know,
And just to backtrack a little bit about was it Ramrock that mentioned Mark Jackson? Um, I feel like he's gonna be in a similar position in the sense that he's not gonna reap the benefits of when this team actually develops. He may, you know what I mean, he may be teaching them lessons and you may not see the results and things now, but the sad part is when they start to show the results, he's probably not going to be here to reap the benefits of his hard work and the torture part. You know what I mean? The bad years.
right,
So
right. I'm trying to get up this other Silas one, but for some reason it ain't coming up. You know what I mean? But let me see. I might be able to just read it out right quick. But I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know why it's not coming up. But anyway, it said Silas needs to go. I don't know why, and this was from Jordan. It said Silas needs to go. I don't know why he thinks that we need to embarrass ourselves while still losing. I don't understand exactly what he was saying there, as far as embarrassing ourselves, them embarrassing themselves while still losing. I don't know what he was talking about.
I think it actually has to do with the vets not playing. You know what I mean? The Augustines not playing.
Mhm.
Um, the Kaminsky's. I think they feel like he's letting the young guys do trial by fire and live with the results, whether it's a blowout or what.
Right.
So I that's the only thing I could think that he's saying by the embarrassment. It could be a shot at the loss to the Knicks as well. Maybe he don't know we real, but those are the only two things I could kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
guess he was saying.
Right. Nick Yak said in our rotation we have Randall's 28. We have Randall 28 and Brunson. I think no. Well, Brunson's like 26. Hart and Obi 25. Everyone else is 23 and under. Nah, no doubt about it. We got a young squad too.
Yeah, they were talking about that on the telecast or
Yeah.
on the game.
Yeah, we got a real young squad. So it's not like
The,
uh,
the
we're old.
the difference is our older guys, our veterans are playing and integral, and theirs are not being played, and you know what I mean. So
Right.
we we could run a lineup of 25 and under if we wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just we smart.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I mean the Knicks have been playing even all last year. People were complaining that the Knicks weren't playing young guys and all this kind of stuff. And they actually were playing young guys. Just people were mad and arguing about it, saying, "Oh, the
Which
Knicks
young
are playing
guys?
young guys, this and that." And still, most of the roster, most of the guys that were being played were young.
And what they wanted us to be the Rockets. They
Yeah,
wanted us to play all the young guys, only the young guys, sit
right.
them sit them better. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
I think that's what they wanted.
bro. I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine right now the way that. Okay, a few years back, like the Knicks content creation community and Twitter and all of that stuff, it wasn't what it is now. I cannot imagine right now with the way things are with social media with the Knicks, how um if we weren't good, if we were like the Rockets, how it would be. You know what I'm saying? Like when I first started doing this, it wasn't that many content creators out there, just a couple. Um, I think in 2000, I started doing it in 2017, and then um, the Knicks drafted RJ Barrett like that year or 2018 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But before the Knicks drafted RJ, they had won like 17 games. You know what I'm saying? And we would argue every single night, 2 hours of arguing
About Emmanuel Moutier.
about Moody Man. You dig what I'm saying?
About Fizdale's a horrible coach.
2 hours arguing about these dudes when they're losing. It was bad. It was bad. So I can't imagine how it would be now. My man Randrock said, "Sin, you was the first." Uh, I mean, I can concur. I can concur with that. You know what I mean? At least the first person that was doing live on YouTube, I say that. You know what I mean? I mean, you had people who was doing stuff, blogs and all that kind of stuff long before I was doing anything. Um, but yeah, it was every single night. We was arguing about crazy, just anything that had to do with the Knicks. It was just constant arguing because everybody was so frustrated. You know what I mean? And you can see it now. The Knicks go on a 3-game losing streak, and everything blows up. People start arguing with each other, fighting, mad at each other, saying crazy things to each other. You know what I mean? It's wild.
Yep. Nicks and
Wow.
bruises.
You know what I'm saying? Arguing about Frank and his lockdown defense. Oh my goodness. We was arguing about all kinds. So I couldn't imagine right now with the way it is now if the Knicks were like the Houston Rockets. Couldn't imagine. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
all right.
It'd be crazy.
We did our stint, you know what I mean? So we we don't gotta imagine it.
Yeah.
We,
Hopefully we
we,
don't have to do it again. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that again. You know what I mean? Because those are some horrible nights. They were fun. I ain't gonna lie, they were fun, but it was some bad nights. You know what I mean? It was definitely some bad nights. But I think this,
Ranrock says he remembers when you was trying to get your first 100
yeah, I
subscribers.
remember, yeah. That was way back when. You know what I'm saying? Way back, long time ago. Feels like the Knicks community has grown so fast. You know what I'm saying? It seems like ages ago. B. Willard said we were on the ledge back then. No doubt about it. We was on the ledge. You had a whole bunch of people ready to jump off that joint.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of people was ready to jump off the ledge back then because it was, you know what I mean? It was definitely some rough moments. I don't know if you want to take some, take some more things from the chat.
Yeah, yeah. What you
Mhm.
see out there?
Yeah, we could take some more things from the chat.
What
You
you got?
know,
What you got?
what else we got in the chat?
Let's see. Let me see. Let me see. Here's one for you.
Do you think the Knicks drafting a player with that Dallas pick? Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, first I gotta convey Dallas.
That's true. First, it's gotta convey.
um, I honestly don't think. I mean, I don't care if we do or if we don't. I feel like we're in a position where we don't have to draft the guy, use that draft pick, and then rely on that player. So
Right.
if a guy happens to fall to wherever we're wherever we're picking,
Uh-huh.
and we feel it's a position of need or somebody who could impact immediately, yes. But for the most part, I think we picking that player for somebody in a potential trade, in a potential bigger move
We're picking
to
that player for somebody else in a potential trade.
yeah.
Um,
Because remember, if you
I feel
if
with
you
that.
trade the player, it doesn't count as a draft pick.
Right.
Even though I mean we already traded our own draft pick, so
Yeah. Nah, I can definitely see that. I could definitely see that.
Ramrock got one. He says, "Do you think we're going 5-0 to end the season? It's 5 games less. It's seven, right?
Nah,
Six,
nah, it's only like it's either
six.
5 or what's our record
I
right
think.
now? 43 and 33, right? 10 games above
Yeah,
500, 43 and 33, so that's
it's
7. So we got
six.
6 games left to the season.
Six. Yeah. I think we go 5-1.
You think so?
Yeah.
Who's the one team you think we lose to?
Mm. I don't want us to lose to Cleveland, but I think it's gonna be Cleveland.
We've beaten Cleveland twice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, hmm. Let me see. Let me see who do we play down the stretch.
We got the Pacers twice.
We got the Pacers
We
twice,
we
right?
got Miami.
Miami
We
coming
got
up, then we got Cleveland, then we got Washington,
Washington.
right? And then we got the Pacers, then we got the Pelicans, then we got the Pacers. It's a chance, man. It's a chance. That Heat game is going to be a battle. That Heat game is going to be crazy. If we can get past the Heat, we can get past the Heat, and we can get past Cleveland.
We could
Uh,
run the table.
then we got a chance to run that table if we can get past those two teams. I mean, those are obviously the toughest games left on the schedule. You know what I mean? Definitely the toughest games. Yeah, I don't know, man.
I
I don't
got
know.
one. I got one. Nick Yak. He says, "Let Washington win if we don't need it." He
Why?
want that. He want that pick too.
Yeah.
I think they too far behind. They got to get all the way to 18, right? 18 protected.
So where are they right now?
They up. They like 7
Let me see.
maybe.
I'm gonna go on Tankathon real quick.
Yeah, I think they like 7th.
Yeah. Yeah. If they're like that, yep. Right now they're 8. Dallas is back down to 11.
Yeah, we good there.
Okay. So
But
we
matter of
need
fact, go get that half game because it's too much of a tie between those. You know what I mean? They at what'd you say they at 11, but they
yeah,
tied
they
with
had
10th
11.
and they tied all the way to what 13th or
So
something.
right now, so they're at 11 at 37 and 39. The Lakers are at 12 at 37 and 38. OKC is tied at 12, 37, 38. Toronto is tied at 12, 37, 38. And Atlanta is tied at 12,
Yep.
37, 38. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we need Dallas to go on a win streak and Chicago to go on a losing streak, or any of these other teams to go on a losing streak.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick one of the other teams because I know my boy Brian Robinson is watching it, and he a Bulls fan. So I, you know, I, I ain't gonna wish that on the Bulls. He's been supporting our Knicks behind the scenes, you
Okay.
know, all our channels and everything. So,
Um,
but if we need them to lose for that pick, sorry, B.
right. Yeah, no doubt about it. Because
Uh,
I mean, yeah, I want that pick, especially because we traded our pick for Josh Hart. And it's not even that I'm mad about trading the pick for Josh Hart, but we don't have the pick, so I want a pick. You know what I mean? And to be able to use that pick for whatever we're going to use it for. I have to put it. RJ had to put it on Jimmy Butler for us to get this dub. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I
You know what I'm saying?
mean,
RJ's got to do his thing.
the good thing about that Heat game is they play tomorrow, so they coming off the back to back. You know what I mean? Hopefully that game goes into like 4 overtimes, and you know what I mean. They super tired, but
Hold
yeah,
on.
we I think
Miami's playing a back to back when they come to play against us.
yeah, they play tomorrow and then they play us Wednesday.
Who do they play tomorrow?
Yep.
end of the day, if you want to call it.
Toronto, maybe. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
Toronto.
yeah. They play Toronto, and yeah, on TNT they play the Raptors. The Raptors right now are in the ninth spot, probably looking to move up to that eighth spot. And here's the thing: when you talk about the play-in, you would much rather be in the seventh or eighth spot. You would much rather be in the seventh spot, right? Because
Hmm.
in the play-in, that's the best spot to have. Because if you're if you're in the seventh spot,
Well,
then
7 or 8 because you just got to win one.
because you just
Yeah.
got to win one. But in the seventh spot, you get home court too,
Really?
right? You get a home game,
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
right?
In that, yes,
Right.
absolutely,
You get a home game against whatever
absolutely.
team you're playing. So you're going to get a home game, and if you lose, you get another chance to play.
And that would be a home game too, right? Because you would
That
have
would
the better
probably
record.
be a home game too because you're playing against a lower seed.
Yep.
You know what I
So
mean? So
yeah.
that's the very best spot in the play-in. That's the very best spot to be because you're guaranteed at least 2 playing games at home, right? And then after that would be the eighth seed because they might have to play their first game away. If they lose it, then they'll play. They should
Game at
play one
home.
at home, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, right now the Raptors being in that ninth seed would be like, yo, we need to get up to that eighth, the seventh or eighth seed. The seventh seed is probably out of the question for them or close to being out of the question,
Hmm.
unless Miami just dips. You know what I'm saying? Because they are 40 and 35. Toronto's 37 and 38. 3 games behind Miami. Now, if they beat them, then they can gain a game and only be 2 games behind Miami. But uh, they should be trying to get into that eighth seed at least.
Hmm.
You know. So yeah, they're gonna be battling. That's a big game for both of them teams.
Absolutely.
That's a big game for both of them because if Miami continues to if they lose basketball games, then they're gonna be in the play-in. They're in the play-in right now, so they want to protect the seventh seed too. You know.
And we coming fresh off the 3 days rest, fresh off the easy game tonight. No
Yep.
disrespect, Houston, but Randall didn't even play in the fourth quarter, right? 20
Right.
20 something minutes, 20
Right.
something points. So I think everything is favored for us to control our own destiny. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think we could win 5 out of 6.
Yeah. That'd be what's up. That'd be what's up. Right now, New York's pick, the Knicks pick, the original pick is 23. That's gonna be moved to Portland. And then the Dallas pick, if the Knicks get it, would be 11. That's where it stands right now.
And what a decision by our front office to say we betting on ourselves and we giving y'all our pick and not Dallas pick.
And not Dallas's pick.
Because they could have very easily looked at not had confidence in their own team and say, all right, Dallas is gonna have the better record, so what I mean, let's give them Dallas pick. But nope, they bet on themselves.
Right. And someone asked, do we have a second round pick? Um,
I think
no,
so. Oh, the tampering, right?
right. They don't have a second round pick this year. Unless they decide to buy a pick.
And I can't even see us being in the market for that unless, again, they're targeting a specific player. You know what I mean? I don't think they
Right.
buy a pick just to have a pick, and you know what I mean. I think they much rather go after a specific target
Yeah.
than
Now, um, and even though Dallas, there's still a chance that they can move up into the lottery. Even if they fall outside the lottery, there's still a chance that if the balls drop right for them, they could get into the top 10, right?
yes, it's very rare. It's a slim, like basically those top four picks. in the draft lottery, like they could, because they're in the lottery within those 14 slots, they have a percentage chance. I
A
think
percentage
I
chance.
think
Yeah.
last a couple of days ago when they were at 14, 14 gives you a half of a percentage shot of getting the first pick at
Right.
14. You know what I mean? 15, you have no shot. That's out of the lottery. 14 is a half percent. I think it's a 1% at 13, 1% at 12, 1% at 11, and then it goes up.
Right.
So
Right. So Nick Yak said Washington is one game out of the play-in, and if they win the play-in, we get their pick.
I
If they
thought that, oh, theirs might be top 14 protected and not top.
no,
I thought it was top
what
18.
happens if a team gets in the play-in? What happens to their pick?
Um Anybody, if they get, no, if they get out of the play, if they make it to the playoffs and they become seventh or eighth, all those teams that didn't make it are technically lower seeds. You know what I mean? So I think the top 18, if they're the eighth seed, they would get 14, maybe 15th pick.
So here's what it says. It says, let me see. The draft consequences of the tournament. And I'm just reading, this is bulletsforever.com. This is off of the Washington Wizards. Bulletsforever.com is a Washington Wizards blog. Said normally a team finishing ninth or 10th in its conference is eligible for the NBA lottery draft. Um, but it says, I guess this was a while ago. It says not this year, at least under some circumstances. One of those teams will be eligible, but the other could lose its eligibility if it's overly eager to make it into the playoffs. So here's how it works. If a ninth or 10th seeded team manages to win both of its game in the
Hmm.
tournament, it will no longer participate in the NBA draft. Similarly,
Lottery.
right, in the NBA draft lottery, right. Similarly, to sneak into the draft lottery, a seventh or eighth seeded team will need to lose both of its game in the tournament, right? So if you're seventh or eighth and you lose both, so what if the ninth or 10th seed team win? What if they win one game? In that case, the team is still lottery bound and its lottery odds are in a sense unaffected and are still calculated based on its regular season 72 game winning percentage. Similar logic applies. Say a seven seeded team that dropped to eighth after the play-in tournament, the picks its say a seven seeded team that dropped to eighth after the play-in tournament. The pick it owns in the draft between 15 and 60 will still be ordered according to their regular season record. So, yeah,
Yeah, if they make the playoffs, the actual playoffs,
right.
then that pick can convey.
Then that pick could convey if they make the playoffs. So they would have to get in the play-in and then
Win
make
both.
the playoffs,
Yeah.
right? And if I was a team, if I were a team like Washington or Indiana, and I might try to get into the play-in, but I don't know if I would want to win a game,
The
especially
pro-
from the Wizards, and that could mean if I get in the playoffs, I got to give up my pick.
the problem is, uh, that means as the front office or the coach, you have to, and really front office, you got to sit players because players ain't gonna lose on purpose.
Right? They're not gonna lose.
Especially, they don't care about some rookie coming in potentially taking their spot.
That's what I'm
You,
saying.
you know what I mean? So like, there's no incentive for a player to uh to not try to win the game.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't
I
know.
love this playing thing. I think this
I
might have
like.
been one of the smartest decisions that the NBA has made.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I
It
mean?
is.
It keeps everything honest,
Yep.
and now a tanking team, you could almost just pinpoint it now. You know what I mean? Like, Like even I hate to say it, but even like the Spurs, like even that win we had against with the rookie mistakes down the stretch. I mean, you could easily say they had that game in the bag and they gave it to us. You know what I mean? But you could kind of pinpoint the teams that they ain't really trying to win, and it's based off coaching decisions, not the players. Actually, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I love it though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like it too. I definitely like it. Yeah. Yeah.
We wrap it up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I got a couple things. Got to get ready for a meeting tomorrow. So
Well, I guess we'll see you back on Wednesday for the next
that's
Losers
what we
Lounge.
talking about. That's what we're talking about.
You know
Wednesday,
what I
man.
mean? That's the big one. Let me again go on record. We need that game Wednesday. I got to bet with my daughter. And if we lose, I gotta buy her Heat jersey and me a Heat jersey and wear it on the show. So I'm not trying to lose and lose to my daughter. She's supposed to join the losers lounge if we win, but I think she's gonna back out. We'll
Yeah,
see. So we might have a special guest next show on the
yeah.
losers lounge. She's a
And
Heats fan.
if the Knicks beat Miami, we need to try to have that losers lounge right after the post game show.
Yes, yeah, because she gonna play sleep. It's
Man,
too
so
late.
we can get everything set up, boom, 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 and ready to go. Then during the post game show, we can be ready to rock. Right after the post game show, we can roll right over into the losers lounge.
Facts, facts. I'll have everything ready for you. And yeah, man, appreciate you, Sim.
No doubt.
Appreciate the chat tuning in, Losers Lounge. Um, see y'all Wednesday on the next win.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's hope we can get this thing on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt. Peace.